There are places on Earth so strange, you'll swear they can't be real.
Lakes that bleed red, mountains that float above the clouds, and deserts that mirror the sky itself. But they exist, hidden across our world, waiting for those brave enough to find them. Welcome to Top 10 Places You Won't Believe Exist. If you love exploring the world's most mysterious and breathtaking wonders, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Go Discover, where every journey takes you beyond imagination. Number 10. Door to Hell, Turkmenistan. Hidden deep in the barren Karakum Desert of Turkmenistan lies a sight so surreal it seems born from myth. A massive crater burning endlessly in the middle of nowhere. Locals call it the Door to Hell. The story begins in 1971, when Soviet geologists accidentally drilled into a vast underground pocket of natural gas. The ground collapsed, forming a massive pit over 70 meters wide and 30 meters deep. When poisonous gas began leaking, they decided to ignite it, hoping it would burn out in a few days. That fire never went out. More than 5 decades later, the flames still rage, licking the desert air, lighting up the night sky like a portal to another world. The heat is so intense that standing too close can melt camera equipment and singe clothing in seconds. At night, the crater glows against the endless dunes, a fiery wound that refuses to heal. Locals believe it's cursed. Some say it's a gate to the underworld, where the earth itself exhales its anger. Others see it as a warning of what happens when humans dig too deep, tampering with forces they don't understand. Despite the danger, thousands of travelers come here every year, drawn by the haunting beauty of this eternal blaze. They camp on the edge, staring into the inferno, mesmerized by the dance of fire and fate. If you ever stand before the door to hell, remember, you're not just looking at a burning crater, you're staring into the heartbeat of the planet, and a reminder that some fires were never meant to die. Number 9. Blood Falls, Antarctica. At the edge of the frozen world, where everything is white, silent, and lifeless, there exists a river that bleeds. From the heart of Taylor Glacier in Antarctica, a stream of crimson water seeps out, staining the pure ice with the color of blood. They call it Blood Falls. For decades, explorers were baffled. How could blood-red water flow in a land where life itself struggles to exist? Was it a chemical reaction, or something far more mysterious buried beneath the ice? In 1911, the phenomenon was first discovered by a team of scientists who thought the color came from red algae. But decades later, advanced research revealed a darker truth. The water is over 2 million years old, trapped beneath the glacier in a sealed subglacial lake. Devoid of sunlight and oxygen, it harbors ancient microbes that survive in complete isolation. When the iron-rich water rises to the surface, it meets oxygen for the first time and rusts instantly, turning red as blood. What flows from the glacier is not just water. It's the memory of an ancient ocean bleeding slowly through time. Temperatures here can drop to 60 degrees below zero. The winds scream across the icy desert at over 100 kilometers per hour. No trees, no animals, only a waterfall of blood carving through a kingdom of white silence. To scientists, Blood Falls is a window into how life might survive on frozen planets like Mars or Europa. But to those who stand before it, surrounded by endless ice and howling wind, it feels less like science and more like a heartbeat pulsing beneath the Earth's frozen skin. Blood Falls, proof that even in the coldest, deadest corners of our planet, something ancient is still alive, still breathing, and still bleeding. Number 8. Lake Natron, Tanzania. In the northern reaches of Tanzania, near the border of Kenya, lies a lake that defies the laws of life itself. Its waters shimmer in hues of red and orange, like a pool of molten glass beneath the African sun. They call it Lake Natron, a place where beauty and death coexist. At first glance, it looks peaceful, calm waters reflecting the clouds, surrounded by majestic mountains. But step closer and you'll realize this is no ordinary lake. The water's surface hides a deadly secret. Fed by mineral-rich hot springs, Lake Natron's temperature can soar above 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and its waters are so alkaline that they can burn skin on contact. The pH level, nearly as high as ammonia, is enough to mummify animals that fall in. Birds that mistake its glassy surface for solid ground are instantly trapped, preserved in eerie perfection, like statues carved from stone. The reason lies beneath. The lake sits atop a volcanic basin filled with sodium carbonate and other minerals left behind by ancient eruptions. When the water evaporates under the fierce heat, it leaves behind crystalline salt formations that turn red from microscopic organisms, painting the lake in haunting shades of blood and fire. And yet, against all logic, life still exists here. Every year, thousands of flamingos return to Lake Natron to breed, dancing across its poisonous shallows. Their feet, adapted to the caustic environment, allow them to survive where almost nothing else can. For travelers who dare to visit, the air smells of salt and heat, and the horizon shimmers like a mirage. It feels like standing on the edge of another planet, a place where nature's beauty and brutality are one and the same. Lake Natron, a mirror of life and death, reminding us that sometimes the most breathtaking places on Earth are the ones that should never be touched. Number 7. The Wave, Arizona, United States. Hidden deep within the desert wilderness of northern Arizona, carved into the heart of the Pamukkale Canyon Vermilion Cliffs, lies a masterpiece sculpted not by human hands, but by time itself. They call it the Wave. From afar it looks like an illusion. Rippling bands of orange, red, and gold, frozen in motion as if a tidal wave of stone suddenly stopped mid-flow. Up close, the rock walls twist and swirl like ribbons of silk, their smooth curves whispering the story of 190 million years of wind and sand. The Wave is made of Navajo sandstone, layered over countless millennia as ancient dunes hardened into rock. Then, through the slow dance of erosion, nature painted this desert canvas, one gust at a time, one grain of sand after another. It is both fragile and eternal, a monument to patience. But not everyone is allowed to see it. To protect this delicate wonder, the government strictly limits access. Only 64 visitors per day are permitted, chosen by lottery. For those who win, it feels like earning a golden ticket to another world. For those who lose, it remains a dream trapped behind stone and time. Hikers who reach the Wave describe an almost spiritual silence. No sound but the wind brushing across the rocks. No movement but the shadows that drift like waves over the glowing sandstone. It feels less like walking on Earth, and more like floating through a dream. But make no mistake, the desert surrounding the Wave is unforgiving. Temperatures can soar above 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and there is no water, no shelter, and no signal. Every year, unprepared visitors collapse under the weight of heat and awe. The Wave is more than a place. It is a moment frozen between creation and destruction. A reminder that the most breathtaking art on this planet was never built by us, but carved by time, patience, and the hands of the earth itself. Number 6. Pamukkale, Turkey. In the heart of southwestern Turkey, where ancient ruins sleep beneath the mountains, lies a place that seems too perfect to be real. A white kingdom sculpted by nature's gentle hand. They call it Pamukkale, which in Turkish means the Cotton Castle. From a distance it looks like a landscape from a dream. Gleaming white terraces cascading down the hillside, glowing under the golden sun. But what appears to be snow or ice is something entirely different. These terraces are made of travertine, a type of limestone formed by the flow of mineral-rich hot springs over thousands of years. Drop by drop, layer by layer, the calcium deposits hardened, creating pools that seem carved from marble, their turquoise waters glimmering in the light. Steam rises gently into the air, and the surface of the pools mirrors the sky. So clear, so serene, it's hard to tell where heaven ends and earth begins. Centuries ago, the ancient Greeks and Romans believed Pamukkale was sacred, a healing gift from the gods. They built the city of Hierapolis at its summit, where travelers from distant lands would come to bathe in the thermal waters, hoping to be cured of illness and pain. Even today, the ruins of marble columns still stand beside the steaming pools, a haunting reminder of a civilization that once thrived here. But beauty like this is fragile. Too many footprints, too much tourism, and the white terraces began to fade. Now only barefoot visitors are allowed, stepping softly upon nature's sculpture to preserve what time has taken centuries to create. At sunset, the light turns golden, and the entire mountain glows like a castle in the clouds. It feels unreal, like stepping inside a myth you were never meant to see. Pamukkale, proof that even the earth can dream. And sometimes that dream becomes real. Number 5. Socotra Island, Yemen. Far off the coast of Yemen, adrift in the Arabian Sea, lies an island so strange that scientists once called it the most alien-looking place on Earth. This is Socotra Island, a forgotten world, isolated from the mainland for millions of years, where evolution followed its own path and created something entirely otherworldly. When travelers first arrive, they often fall silent. The landscape looks like it belongs to another planet. Twisted limestone plateaus, deserts of white sand, and trees that seem to defy every rule of life. The most famous of them is the dragon's blood tree, its umbrella-shaped crown stretching wide like a frozen explosion, its bark pale and ancient, its sap thick and red, said to resemble the blood of dragons. For centuries, locals believed the trees were sacred, protectors of the island, born from the battle between mythic creatures of fire and air. Even today, they harvest the red resin for medicine and dye, calling it the blood that heals. And as the wind whistles through the alien forest, the air carries a faint, sweet scent, both strange and familiar, as if the island itself were breathing. Over 1/3 of Socotra's plant and animal life exists nowhere else on Earth. From glowing desert flowers that bloom in the night, to strange succulents that look like living stones, every corner of this island feels like a living dream. Scientists say it's what our world might have looked like before humanity ever existed. But paradise is fragile. Civil conflict and climate change threaten this ancient ecosystem, and many of its species teeter on the edge of extinction. Still, the island endures, wild, haunting, and beautiful beyond reason. At sunrise, when the first light touches the dragon's blood trees, the island glows red, as if the earth itself were remembering its origins. It's not just a place. It's a time capsule, a dream of life untouched by time. Socotra Island, where nature still writes its own mythology, and the boundary between the real and the unreal simply disappears. Number 4. Salar de Uyuni, Bolivia. High in the Andean mountains of southwestern Bolivia, nearly 12,000 feet above sea level, lies a landscape that seems to belong not to Earth, but to the heavens. They call it Salar de Uyuni, the world's largest salt flat, and one of the most surreal places ever created by nature. Stretching farther than the eye can see, this vast white expanse covers over 4,000 square miles, a mirror so perfect that sky and ground become one. When the rains come, a thin layer of water forms over the salt, turning the desert into a boundless reflection of clouds, light, and silence. Here you cannot tell where Earth ends and the sky begins. You feel as though you're walking among the stars. But beneath its beauty lies the ghost of an ancient sea, long evaporated, leaving behind a shimmering crust of salt that glitters under the blazing sun. The air is dry, the horizon infinite, and every sound seems swallowed by the light. It is both dazzling and desolate, a place where you can lose yourself and find yourself all at once. At dawn, the sky turns rose and violet. At noon, it becomes blinding white. And at night, under the Milky Way, the reflection of stars on the water creates the illusion of floating through space itself. For photographers and travelers, it is the ultimate dream, a window into infinity. But Salar de Uyuni is not without danger. Temperatures swing wildly between scorching heat and freezing cold, and navigation across its endless plain can be deadly without guidance. Many who wander too far never return, lost in a world with no landmarks, no sound, and no mercy. Still, people come from across the globe to witness this miracle, to stand upon the Earth's great mirror and see themselves reflected against the sky. Salar de Uyuni, where heaven touches Earth. And for a fleeting moment you realize, maybe they were never separate at all. Number 3. The Catacombs of Paris, France. Beneath the romantic streets of Paris, the city of light, love, and life, lies another city entirely. A world of silence and bones, a labyrinth carved through limestone and darkness, where more than 6 million souls rest together beneath the surface. This is the Catacombs of Paris. It began in the late 18th century, when the overflowing cemeteries of Paris became a threat to the living. Bodies were unearthed, bones exhumed by candlelight, and carried through tunnels that once served as ancient quarries. For years, night after night, carts filled with skulls and femurs descended into the earth, until a city of the dead was built beneath the city of the living. Today, those tunnels stretch for nearly 200 miles, though only a small portion is open to the public. The walls are lined with carefully stacked bones, arranged in haunting symmetry, skulls and spines forming patterns like grim mosaics, as if death itself had been turned into art. In the flicker of torchlight, the hollow eyes seem to stare back at you, whispering in languages long forgotten. Some say the catacombs are haunted, that whispers echo through the tunnels at night, that shadows move where no one walks. Urban explorers who ventured into the forbidden sections tell stories of strange markings, hidden chambers, and voices that follow them through the dark. Others speak of secret concerts held in the depths, and of a mysterious figure known only as the Keeper, said to protect the dead from the living. But perhaps the true terror is not in the ghosts that might linger. It's in the realization that beneath the beauty of Paris, the art, the laughter, the light, lies the truth of us all. A reminder that no matter how far humanity climbs toward the stars, it will always return to the dust beneath its feet. The catacombs of Paris, where death has been given order, and silence speaks louder than any cathedral above. Number 2. Mount Roraima, Venezuela, Brazil. Guyana. Rising like a fortress from the clouds at the intersection of Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana, stands one of the most mysterious and otherworldly formations on Earth. A mountain with flat, sheer cliffs on every side, its summit hidden in mist. They call it Mount Roraima, the mother of all waters. From the ground, it looks impossible, a giant stone table standing more than 9,000 feet above the jungle floor. Its vertical walls rise straight from the rainforest, so steep that for centuries no one believed it could be climbed. Even today, only a single natural route allows passage to the top, a narrow ramp carved by ancient erosion, known as the La Rampa Trail. The summit is a world apart. Cut off from the rest of the Earth for millions of years, it has become an island in the sky, a lost ecosystem where strange plants and creatures exist nowhere else. Carnivorous flowers glisten in the mist, miniature ponds shimmer with pink algae, and the wind carries the scent of rain and stone untouched by time. To the indigenous Pimon people, Mount Roraima is sacred, the stump of a giant cosmic tree that once held all fruits and life upon its branches. When the tree was struck down, its roots formed rivers, and its base became the mountain we see today. They believe the spirits of the world still dwell here, guarding the balance between heaven and earth. Those who reach the top describe it as walking on another planet. The air is thin, the clouds drift beneath your feet, and at dawn the horizon turns gold and violet, a sea of light stretching beyond imagination. But beauty here comes with peril. Storms form in seconds, lightning strikes without warning, and cliffs vanish into endless fog. Many explorers have vanished, swallowed by the mountain's silence. Mount Roraima is a paradox, ancient yet alive, fierce yet fragile. It reminds us that the world still holds places beyond our understanding, where myth and reality intertwine. Mount Roraima, a mountain from another world, where earth touches the sky and the boundary between the divine and the real becomes impossibly thin. Number 1. Antelope Canyon, Arizona, United States. In the heart of the Arizona desert, hidden beneath the sandstone plains of the Navajo Nation, lies a passageway carved by wind, time, and water, a place where sunlight dances like liquid fire. They call it Antelope Canyon. From the surface, it looks like nothing more than a narrow crack in the earth. But descend into its depths and you enter another world, a cathedral of stone sculpted by the patient hands of nature. Waves of red and gold twist and spiral around you, their smooth walls glowing as sunlight filters through the cracks above, painting the canyon in living color. Over millions of years, flash floods carved these corridors, grain by grain, sculpting sandstone into ribbons as soft as silk. Each curve tells a story, of storms long past, of rivers that once roared through silence, of time itself shaping art. When the light hits just right, beams of sun pierce through the canyon's ceiling, illuminating the dust in the air like suspended stars. It is one of the most photographed places on Earth, and yet even 1,000 pictures could never capture what it feels like to stand there. To the Navajo people, this place is sacred. They call it Tsebig Hanilini, the place where water runs through rock. They believe the canyon is alive, that the spirits of water and wind still move through its veins, whispering to those who walk within. Visitors often describe hearing echoes that sound almost human, as if the canyon itself were breathing. But Antelope Canyon also demands respect. Flash floods can surge without warning, turning the tranquil corridors into torrents of deadly water. In a single moment, beauty becomes danger, a reminder that the same force that creates can also destroy. When you walk through its winding halls, light shifting around you like fire on water, it feels as though the earth is dreaming, and you have stepped inside that dream. It is not just a canyon. It is a conversation between time and light, between silence and creation. Antelope Canyon, proof that the most breathtaking wonders of our world are not built by human hands, but whispered into existence by the endless patience of nature. From burning craters to bleeding waterfalls, from mountains that touch the clouds to lakes that turn life into stone, our planet is full of wonders that defy reason and remind us how little we truly know about the world we live in. Which of these places amazed you the most? Tell us in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this journey beyond imagination, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Go Discover, where every destination reveals another secret of our incredible world. Because discovery never ends. It only begins with you.